COVID-19 and its effect on student learning today. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a profound and lasting impact on education system worldwide, disrupting traditional educational practice and affecting the student learning in unprecedented ways. Katoma Elementary School, like many schools across the nation, experienced extended periods of remote learning, fluctuating attendance, and challenges in maintaining student engagement. As schools continue to recover, it is crucial to examine the specific effects of the pandemic on student populations to guide effective instructor practice and intervention strategies. This study focused on fifth grade students at Katoma Elementary School, a diverse group representing a range of academic ability, cultural backgrounds, and socioeconomic statuses. The purpose of this research is to investigate how the COVID 19 pandemic has influenced academic achievement, student engagement, and attendance. This project predicts that the students who experience the early impact of COVID 19 will show significantly greater academic growth compared to students who began school after the pandemic at Katoma Elementary School. Data collection for this study occurs at the beginning of the 9 weeks grading period. The key measures include already data, open court reading, assessment results, classroom participation observation, and monthly attendance records. By analyzing these data points, the study aims to provide valuable insights into the extent of the pandemic's impact and recommend actionable strategies to promote recovery and maximizing learning opportunity for all students at Katoma Elementary School. Chapter 1 Research Problem Introduction. The COVID 19 pandemic has significantly altered the educational landscape, creating global challenges for students, teachers, and school systems. Extended school closures, transition to remote and hybrid learning models, and social and emotional strain caused by the pandemic has disrupted student learning outcomes. At Katoma Elementary School, these disruptions have been particularly noticeable among fifth grade students, many of whom have struggled to maintain academic process, consistent absence, and engage in learning process. Understanding specific effects of the pandemic on this group is crucial for designing effective interventions and promote academic recovery and student well-being. The shift to remote learning during the pandemic disproportionately affected students across the different academic levels and socioeconomic backgrounds. Research indicates that elementary students, particularly those from historical underserved community, experience significant learning loss in reading and mathematics. At Katoma Elementary School, the fifth grade students represents a diverse group whose educational experience were disrupted during the crucial development years. An analysis of the pandemic impact at local level will help tailor support to meet those unique and academic and emotional needs. Statement of the research problem. The COVID 19 pandemic has had a profound and lasting impact on student learning, engagement, and attendance across the United States. Students have experienced a measurable decline in academic and attendance due to the disruption caused by the school closure, remote learning, and ongoing instability in the education environment. At Katoma Elementary School, these challenges have been effected among fifth grade students. Through my observation as an ARI local reading specialist, I have seen a significant number of students perform below grade level expectations in reading and overall academic achievement. Additionally, absenteeism rates have increased, mirroring national concerns about the rates of the chronic absenteeism during the and after the pandemic. Students are participating less actively in the classroom discussion and group activities, demonstrating lower levels of motivation and interaction compared to the previous years. Research also suggests that learning loss have been most served among elementary students who are in critical stage of cognitive and social development. In line with Pinkney's theory of developmental learning, Vygotsky emphasizes on social interactions as a driver of cognitive growth. These disruptions threaten not only academic outcomes but also essential social skills. The study aims to examine the content of COVID 19's effect on the academic achievement, engagement, and attendance of fifth grade students at Katoma Elementary School. It will further explore strategies to support academic recovery and improve literacy outcomes, emphasizing the role of interaction instructions and student-centered engagement techniques. Data sources such as iReady assessment will be used, recognizing their research-based evidence for accuracies, identifying the student learning needs. It is hypothesized that students who experience an early impact of the COVID-19 will show significantly greater academic growth compared to the students who began school after the pandemic. Data and graphic discussion. The following table of data shows noticeable fluctuation in students' performance and attendance over the last 3 years, underscoring the ongoing impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Academic achievement scores declined from 71 to 64% in the second year, with only a slight increase to 65 in the third, indicating limited recovery in overall reading proficiency. Similarity, academic growth scores dropped from 91% to 84%, then level at 85%, suggesting that although some growth continues, it remains well below pre-pandemic levels. Most concerning is the spike in chronic absenteeism, which rose sharply from 15% to 27% before dropping to 16%, still noticeably higher than the initial levels. These trends highlight a broader ongoing issue stemming from the COVID-19 pandemic, indicating that the recovery efforts must be addressed both academic and attendance challenges in Trenton. Impact of student achievement. The post-pandemic period has a significant decline in the fifth grade students' reading and math achievement, a trend that mirrors broader patterns observed in the educational system across the country. Although some academic growth has been made, particularly in reading, it remains insignificant to close the considerable gap that developed during the pandemic. Research has shown that younger students in particular have been most impacted by the disruptions to their education, which led to a sustainable loss in fundamental skills, foundational skills. In in addition, chronic absenteeism has continued to affect students' engagement, with attendance inconsistent compounding the challenges of academic recovery. Highlights ongoing absenteeism rather disrupts learning, making it difficult for students to fully recover from the setback caused by COVID-19. These persistent issues demonstrate that while some recovery has been made, it is clear that sustained efforts and targeted interventions such as the implementation of the iReady program and interactive learning activities are needed to support students' academic progress and improve attendance rates. Research methodology. This study will employ an experimental research designed to involve two fifth grade self-contained classrooms at Katoma Elementary School. These groups will be designated as Class A and Class B. Both groups will participate in the intervention under the same instructional condition to ensure consistency and minimizing selection bias. Both classes were selected from the same grade level and school environment and reflect similar demographic characteristics and academic profiles. This approach ensures comparability between groups and reduces external variables that could influence the results. To maintain fidelity throughout the study, both Class A and Class B will follow the same instructional calendar, use the iReady program daily, and participate in the same structural engagement activities. Consistent instructional support will be provided across both groups, minimizing variability and ensuring that any observed effects can be ascribed to the intervention. Summary of Chapter 1. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a lasting impact on the student achievement and attendance at Katoma Elementary School, as reflected in the observed academic declines and engagement challenges. This study seeks to examine the extent of these effects among the fifth grade students and evaluate the effectiveness in targeted intervention designed to promote academic recovery and improve literacy outcomes. By addressing these issues through structured use of the iReady program and interactive learning activity, the research aims to contribute meaningful strategies to supporting students' ongoing educational growth. Chapter 2, Literature Review, Introduction. The COVID-19 pandemic has profoundly affected education system worldwide, leading to widespread disruptions in student learning, achievement, and engagement. At Katoma Elementary School, similar patterns have been observed, particularly among the fifth grade students who experienced significant interruption during a crucial stage of academic development. This chapter reviews the existing literature related to the effects of the pandemic on the students' achievement, chronic absenteeism, and academic recovery efforts. Key studies, including those by From Margaz, Marcus, and Gilliver documented the precise learning loss and increased absenteeism that have been challenging education nationally and locally. Research from the organizations such as NWEA and Curriculum Associates highlight both the magnitude of pandemic related learning gaps and the promising strategies schools are adapting to address them. The theological frameworks of Gene Pickman and Lee Vygotsky will guide the discussion, emphasizing the importance of developmental learning stages and social interaction in academic recovery. This review will explore the causes of learning loss, the relationship between absenteeism and student achievement, the role of technology and interactive instruction in supporting learning, and best practice for intervention as schools work to close the achievement gap. By examining these areas, the literature review will provide a foundation for understanding the challenges faced by the Catomas elementary fifth grade students and the rationale behind the choosing intervention strategies, best practice for increasing proficiency. In the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, schools across the country have focused on identifying and implementing best practices to accelerate student learning and close proficiency gaps in reading. Research highlights several strategies that have proven effective for increasing students' achievement and fostering academic recovery. One essential practice is the use of targeted, data-driven instruction. According to the curriculum associated programs like iReady, providing ongoing assessment data that helps teachers personalize learning paths for students. This targeted approach ensures that instruction meets the students at their current level and addresses specific learning gaps, therefore promoting measurable growth and proficiency. Another critical strategy, interaction and engagement instruction methods. Marcus emphasizes that incorporating interactive learning activities such as discussion, hands-on tasks, and collaborative projects helps re-engage students who may have become disengaged during the remote learning. Active learning strategies not only boost academic achievement, but also improve the student motivation and persistence. Early intervention and consistent progress monitoring are also key components of effective recovery plans. As Sparks notes, students who receive timely intervention based on real-time data are more likely to close learning gaps before they become entrenched. Frequent monitoring through formative assessments allow students to adjust instructions, allow educators to adjust instruction dramatically to meet the involvement of students' needs. Moreover, addressing chronic illness is crucial for improving academic outcomes. Gallagher found that chronic absenteeism has a direct negative impact on student learning, especially in urban schools. Strategies such as building a strong student-teacher relationship, involve families, and creating a supportive school climate can help improve attendance and, in turn, students' proficiency. Finally, structured use of educational technology has emerged as a best practice for increasing learning efficiency. As reported by the NWEA, adaptive technology platforms like Outrate not only support differentiated instruction, but also provide students with immediate feedback and an important factor for sustaining learning gains. Together, these best practices target instruction and interaction engagement, timely intervention, addressing absenteeism, and leveraging technology forms a comprehensive framework for improving student proficiency in post-pandemic era. Applying these strategies consistent at Katoma Elementary School is expected to help fifth grade students recover lost learning, increase literacy rate, and achieve higher levels of academic success. Chapter 3, Methodology Introduction. Recent academic data revealed that fifth grade students at the Katoma Elementary School have demonstrated concerning trends in reading proficiency and attendance. The purpose of this study is to assess academic achievement, growth, and attendance pattern following the intervention that incorporates daily use of the iReady program and interactive learning activities. An experimental design was selected to measure the effects of the intervention by comparing pre and post assessment data, attendance records, and the student engagement logs over a 9-week period. Two self-contained fifth grade classrooms designated as Class A and Class B served as participants for this study. Both classes were chosen to reflect similar demographic and academic characteristics, ensuring comparability between groups. Through systematic monitoring of the academic performance, attendance, and engagement, this study aims to provide insight into best practices for promoting academic recovery and improving literacy outcomes among the students impacted by the pandemic related disruptions. Population. Katama Elementary School serves approximately 210 students across kindergarten through fifth grade. With only fifth grade students participating in this study, the participant sample includes two self-contained fifth grade classrooms. Each consisted of 18 students for a total of 36 students. The fifth grade students at Katama were chosen for this study due to their unique position within the school's academic framework and the broader impact the COVID-19 pandemic on their learning. These students experienced significant disruption during the pandemic, with many shifting between remote and in-person learning environment. As a result, representative of the challenges faced by a large portion of students who experienced learning loss during this period. The fifth grade is a crucial year for academic development, as students are expected to solidly foundational skills in reading, which are essential for success in middle school and beyond. Sample. The fifth grade participants in these studies are divided into two self-contained classrooms, with each classroom consisting of 18 students labeled as Class A and Class B. The sample of 36 students reflect a diverse range of cultural backgrounds and academic achievement levels. It includes a variety of gender, socioeconomic status, and learning needs. Sample technique. The purposive sampling technique is adapted to target students who have faced early academic and attendance challenges due to the pandemic. This approach aligns with the study's objectives, which are to assess the effectiveness of our reading program and interactive learning activity in improving reading achievement and attendance within the real-world educational content. Role of the participant and impact on the participants. The participants in these studies are fifth grade students from two self-contained classrooms at Katama Elementary School. Their primary role is to engage in regular classroom activities that incorporate the daily use of the iReady program and interactive learning tasks. Each student will complete the iReady standard mastery pre-assessment and post-assessment, which will serve as the primary data source for measuring the academic achievement and growth in reading proficiency. Additionally, students will be involved in daily instructional activities that aim to reinforce literacy skills and improve attendance. The study will monitor engagement and participation through the teacher observation checklist, activity completion logs, and attendance records. Students will be expected to attend school regularly and participate in all aspects of the intervention to ensure accurate data collection throughout the study period. The goal is for the students to actively contribute to the study by engaging with intervention and providing data on their progress, which will help assess the effectiveness of the strategies used. Plan for the protection of human subjects. To ensure the protection of participant privacy and confidentiality, students in both Class A and Class B will use their Clever badges and Google emails to protect their identities during the data collection process. This approach ensures that no personal identifiable information is directly linked to the students when their academic process and attendance status are gathered. The project direct will be sole individual with access to the list of students and their corresponding data, ensuring that all information remains confidential and secure. Although no harm is anticipated as a result of the participation in the study, informed consent will be obtained from the parents and guardians as the study involves minors. Additionally, students will be provided with an age-appropriate explanation of the study and their role in it. Participation will be voluntary, and the students may withdraw from the study at any time without penalty. The confidentiality of all participants will be maintained throughout the study, and all the data will be stored securely and used solely for the purpose of this research. Variables. The independent variable in this study is the intervention strategy, which includes the daily use of the iReady program combined with the interaction learning activity. This is the factor that will be manipulated or introduced to see its effect on the fifth grade students' outcome at Katama Elementary School. The dependent value are the pre and the post assessment scores from the iReady standard mastery. The attendance rate are monitored through the school attendance records to ensure any changes in student attendance patterns during the study period. The student engagement will be evaluated based on the student's participation in the interview learning activities, which include the completion of tasks, achievement involvement in discussions, and other signs of engagement during the intervention period. Timeline. The study will take place over a 9-week period, beginning with the administration of the I-rated standard master pre-assessment during the first week to establish baseline academic achievement data. In this initial week, attendance data will also be recorded and parental consent forms will be distributed. The study will then proceed with the implementation of daily instruction incorporating the I-rated program and interactive learning activities, which will occur throughout week 2 to 8. During this phase, students' engagement will be monitored weekly through the teacher observation, checklist, and activity completion log, while attendance will be recorded on a weekly basis. At the end of the week 9, the I-rated standard mastery post-assessment will be administered to measure the academic growth and achievement, and attendance data will be recorded again to assess changes in school participation. The collected data will be analyzed to evaluate the effectiveness of the intervention on academic achievement, growth, and attendance, providing insight into the impact of the program over a 9-week period. Constructive and operation definitions. The I-rated standard master pre and post assessment will help assess the impact of the intervention. I-rated program and interactive learning activities on the students' achievement in reading for both Class A and Class B. The Class A and Class B refer to the 2 self-contained 5th grade students at Katoma Elementary School. Each class will take part in the pre-assessment in week 1 and the post-assessment in week 9. The students in these classrooms will engage in daily use of I-rated program, with interactive learning activities incorporated into their regular instructional time. Their progress will be monitored through the pre- and post-assessment scores to determine the effectiveness of the intervention. Description of the data. The data collected will be analyzed to determine whether the students who experienced the early impacts of COVID-19 show significant greater academic growth compared to the who began school after the pandemic. Based on the comparison of the pre- and post-assessment scores from the I-rated standard mastery, along with the observed changes in attendance and engagement, the hypothesis will be either confirmed or rejected. If the result shows that the students from the early pandemic period demonstrate greater academic growth, the hypothesis will be confirmed. Otherwise, it will be rejected. Reliability and validity of instruction. The I-rated standard master assessment has been developed and validated by the curriculum associates. These assessments are employed in the MTSS at Katoma Elementary School to monitor and support the students' progress in reading. The teacher observation checklist and activity comparison logs used to track students' engagement provide reliable data. Teachers will follow the standardized procedures when observing and recording students' behavior, ensuring consistency across both Class A and Class B. The school's official attendance system used to monitor the students' participation is a reliable source, regularly updated and used constantly for tracking students' attendance patterns. To ensure consistency and reliability in data collection, the I-rated standard master pre-assessment and post-assessment will be administered at the same time to both Class A and Class B, except in cases where students are absent. This approach ensures that all students in both classrooms receive the same exploitation to the assignment, following for a direct comparison of academic achievement and growth between the two groups. The pre-assessment will be given at the beginning of the study, week 1, to establish baseline data, and the post-assessment will be administered at the end of the study, week 9, to measure the growth and changes in proficiency. If a student is absent on the day of the assessment, they will be given an opportunity to complete the assessment at a later date. This ensures that all data is collected within the study period and that no student is excluded due to absence, maintaining the reliability and validity of the assessment process. Limitations. Several limitations and external factors may impact students' achievement during the study, including home environment challenges, fluctuations in students' motivation and behavior, and teacher-related factors such as instructional pace and classroom management. School-level disruption like closures or special events could also affect outcomes. These factors will be acknowledged and efforts will be made to address them through clear communication, supportive classroom instruction, and ongoing monitoring.